Hey, it's Cannonball Nation. It is Thursday, April 10th, and we are on Cannonball Live. Today, we are going to be talking about Filipino VAs, where I find them, how I hire them, and what I look for when I'm sorting through them. So that's going to be today's topic. I know several of y'all probably need help. Several of y'all maybe have looked into hiring overseas, but just don't know where, or maybe you've looked at places that will do it for you, but it's so costly, it's insane, and it doesn't seem worth it. And I agree. So I haven't done that. I waited a long time to hire one until I figured out kind of how to do it on my own and to avoid those service places. The thing with those service places too, you're paying like American wages, but they're not getting American wages. They are getting the short end of the stick because the company that you're hiring them through is taking a good portion of it. And so what you're paying doesn't even go to them. Plus, you're paying them a hiring fee and everything else. And that just seemed like a lot to me. I know how to hire people. We do it all the time internally. It was just a matter of finding the place to hire people. So we have located a place that's kind of like Indeed. If you're familiar with Indeed, it's kind of similar, except it's meant for the Filipino market. And we're going to go into that platform today. I'm going to show you around. And ultimately, we're going to look for some help. Hopefully, maybe some of you need some help right now. We're going to find some candidates for you today for you to interview. So let me get that pulled up and I'll share my screen. So first and foremost, the website I use, you will want to write this down, is called onlinejobs.ph. onlinejobs.ph. Now, you can look around without, fully signing up, but if you're going to interact with people or post a job, there is a service fee, but it's small, it's well worth it. It's basically to utilize the website and talk to people, but it's the only fee you have associated with this when you are hiring through this portal. So this is kind of like Indeed, American version, but only everybody on here is overseas. First and foremost, when you log in, it tells you what time it is in the Philippines, which is really nice. It's already Friday morning there. It's 5:37 a.m. They are basically a whole half a day in front of us, which in itself can be a bit challenging when you're trying to figure out what time it is there and what time it is here when you're trying to work together. But most of them, not all, but most of them are familiar with working on the United States schedule during the day. So they ultimately work all night to work with you all day. Now, we have currently four. Three of them work our shift and one of them works nights. And when I hired her on, she requested if she could work more of the night shift, and that was fine for what I was having her do. And then ultimately, I talked to her. It's kind of nice in some ways because she starts her day about the time I'm done with dinner at the house. And so if she has questions or if things, I can talk to her then. And then she works all night. When I wake up in the morning, a lot of times I have it in my inbox and it's done, which is great. And sometimes too, when she has like a longer shift, when I get up or I'm getting up early, she's still up working, she's wrapping up her day, and I talk to her then. And if she had any final questions, I could answer those. So even on the night shift, sometimes it's not bad depending on what they're doing. Because I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of nice to wake up to have an email first thing in the morning of whatever it was that it was done. It's like you're working 24 hours a day now. So that was kind of nice. But depending on what you're doing, you may not want that shift, so they will do days. A lot of things you need to understand is how to pay. First and foremost, these are not American wages, guys. So you're not going to W-2 them. You're not going to 1099 contract labor them. You can run them through. It's basically 100% write-offable in your business. You can run them through like marketing, just service, usage and all that stuff is write-offable. And we pay them, originally, we used PayPal. We did friends and family PayPal. And then we got enough of them, and we had a couple of them request, because PayPal, I guess, takes a portion on their end. Even by doing it friends and family, it still takes a portion of their check. And so they asked us if we could use a different system, and they recommended a system called Wise, which we have been using since then. And I know a lot of the other agents also use Wise that have Filipinos that they hire. Now here, as you can see on the front screen, and this actually wasn't up here when I first started working, this is a new add-on. So they have inside this company, or this portal, they have a way that you can pay them too. They have their own pay version, but we use Wise. Orlando handles it. He says it's really simple once you set it up and you just pay. It automatically converts the money to their money, which is really wild to see because they're much lower wages than like American employees. So we may pay them, let's say $250 for the week, but when we see the transition, the exchange rate, it's like thousands of dollars in their exchange rate. And when you're not used to that at first, it was kind of wild. You're like, wow, that's like a lot of money down there. I don't know how many pennies or pesos or whatever it takes to rent something down there, but ultimately when the exchange looked really big. This is pretty much a self-hosting service. So once you're in here, like the company doesn't talk to you, they're not trying to steer, and you have like your messages. So when you are talking to people, if you reach out to them either on their job posting or if you make a post of your own, it just comes into an inbox just like this. It looks like any other regular mail. And you can see even lately I've been chatting because right now I'm looking for a backup for Orlando in accounting, and I'm looking for a data entry person for our CRM, getting some data straight. So I did not post an ad for these people. I actually went looking for people in general just to kind of fit my needs. I have posted ads before. Some of y'all know Jarrell that handles he's our support on our CRM Boss. If you're using our Boss system, that you may have spoken with Jarrell. He's helped build that whole system out. He handles all the support tickets. And I found him. I created a job posting for him, somebody that had familiar with the CRM Go High Level. I was looking for something very specific, and he's one of the guys I interviewed. And ultimately I hired him, and he's now been with us about a year, maybe even a little over a year now, and he's phenomenal. He's great. And then another hire I have was just a customer service person. She kind of initially helped with phones during open enrollment. She was a backup to Melissa for a while there, trying to help get some of the marketing pumped out because Melissa was inundated with other things. And she's actually done several different things, whether it's phone, data entry, calling about ID cards, helping Melissa with marketing. She's done a lot. She's been with us now 8 months or so. And she's great. And if you've ever called into the office, you may have even spoken with her. And then we have Nika was the one I hired to help me chop video content originally for my YouTube channel because it never gets any love. And then also helped me with TikTok, and it was strictly video chopping content. Now she builds out our newsletters that go out monthly in our CRM. Melissa still does our quarterly newsletter, but she's doing a monthly one, and she's building out a lot of other newsletters for us. Plus she's helping Jarrell with the CRM because she happens to be very techie orientated too. So she's evolved, her roles evolved. And that's what you're going to find as you hire some of these people, is their roles are going to evolve. As you use them, as you get to know them, as you see what they're good at, things are going to pop up and you're going to try them in some place. And ultimately, that might be the better place yet for them. So you just evolve the role. And then our newest one, Shayna, I got her originally because I needed more customer service on phones. She actually had a background. She's worked for Anthem. And she also worked for Ambetter. And so she worked for the insurance companies for 3 years. She knows how to deal with the marketplace. She knows how to file claims and things like that. And that's the role I hired her for. But then her accent, to be quite frank, is the thickest of all of them. And we had some pushback with our customer. So she's a good person, and she has some, actual knowledge of insurance and things. So right now we're pulling her out of that, and I'm putting her over into the contracting department to just help file, track, ready, sell RTS reports and things like that for Hunter. So he has a form he can just go to and look things up, so he knows what he's doing. So she's starting to learn contracting a little bit to be Hunter's backup there, to give him a little relief, because I'm tired of him working until 9 o'clock at night every night in my office. I am thrilled that he's willing to do it, but honestly, I'm afraid he's going to burn himself out, and I don't want that. So we're going to try to help him, get him some support there. So you can find just about anything. I know several of you have mentioned here, there, and yonder, I would love to have a marketing person. I mean, even just somebody to create the posts, and I can post them. Like, they're not in my Facebook. They're not, I don't give them that access. They just send me over the data and I can post it, or they send it over to me in an email, and it's a newsletter that goes out and I post it. So depending on how comfortable you are with them, at first you may not want them in all your systems, but they can still do the work and send you it, and then you do the posting. Or as you develop this relationship and you get really comfortable with it, you may be no problem giving them those accesses, right? Just depending on the relationship you end up having with them. I have found that all of them that we end up hiring really want to work. And if they don't got enough to do, they reach out and be like, hey, what else? What else? What else? They're always asking for work. They want to be valuable. They want to keep the job. And they want to advance. We give PTO to them. That's about the only benefit they get. They get PTO, and then they'll get certain holidays off. They don't get the whole gamut like the office does, but even with that, I think that's more than they're used to getting. So they're really happy with it. And I've given one of them a raise since they've been there, and I have another one that's probably fixing to get a raise too. And their raises, because they're starting at a lower income, it doesn't take a huge raise ultimately to show them appreciation and help make a difference in their lives, because the cost of living is so low. I mean, 50 cents a dollar raise to them is huge, and they're so grateful for it. And that's also kind of a good feeling too, when you can find somebody you really like, and then in a lot of ways you are helping them and their family out, because they are in an area where wages are minimal, and even at the lower rate we're paying, it's still a huge difference to what they can get there, which is kind of nice to see. And a lot of these people are college educated. They hold way more degrees than I've ever thought about holding. So keep that in mind. Now, let's see. Oh, let me get back to the job post. So in the past, these are some of my job posts that I've posted. AI receptionist creator, looking for someone who can build me a receptionist using AI. So I was trying to find somebody that could do the whole create a front desk person using AI. That one, we never really found the person. Jeremy actually started playing with that, and then we've had some other play, and that's still kind of in the works. The Go High Level Expert Builder. So this is the one that we found Darrell on. We hired him on it. We were looking for a coder at one point for the Go High Level system, and we interviewed several people, but ultimately I think I finally found one now that we're going to use, because coders are really hard. There was a lot of people that tried to claim they were coders, but they really weren't. Finding somebody that really is good at that and really understand that they're few and far between. I mean, that is a full skill set that's beyond my comprehension. That was another person on the coding specifically. And then customer service extraordinaire. That was one of the very first ones I did, and explained what we are and what we were looking for. Texas-based health and Medicare insurance office, looking for fast-paced, super bubbly service rep to answer phones, take detailed messages, note messages in CRM, help logging clients, etc. And you can see how many applicants we've had for these jobs. And ultimately, like this first one, we had 47 applicants, over 600 people looked at it. And we hired somebody like within a week of posting that job. These people respond quickly. The Go High Level Expert Builder, we had 34 applicants, 168 people that actually looked at it. And I think there we hired Jarrell really quickly. We found him really quickly on there as well. So there's good quality people here. You just got to take the time to sort through, or you can create your own job and let them come to you. Let's see. Here's the front end. So at the bottom on the front screen, they get rearranged just a little bit, but at the bottom at the front screen, if you scroll all the way down, you can do a quick search and just look at resumes, is what I have been doing right now. I've interviewed 5 or 6 people this week. I got 2 more interviews tomorrow, and I got several interviews lined up for next week to try to fill these couple of positions. And like the 2 positions I'm trying to fill right now are very specific positions, and I'm looking for a very specific skill set. And not only a skill set, but then they also have to work within my team. And one of the big things for all of us, right? They need to speak English pretty well. Even if they're not talking to your client, you still have to be able to have a intelligent conversation with them. And if their English level is really low, they might be able to understand you, but maybe they don't understand the nuances of what you're saying. And then when they talk to you back, you may not quite understand them. So obviously English is super important. You can also find bilingual on here. I found Russian, Tagalog, French, not just English, which is really wild. Employment type, full-time, part-time, or gig. So you can pick any. I'm looking for full-time. Available hours, 2 to 12. These people, a lot of them, Jarrell works like 12, 14-hour days. And that's not me asking him to do that. That's what he wants to work. And ultimately we have the work, so we let him. You can adjust your salary. There are people up here, $20, $22 an hour. I don't ever look at those. I usually run between about $2 and $8 is the salary I'm going to land on. Most of my people have started at the $5 to $6 mark. I have 2 interviews right now scheduled for people, and they put how much they want to make on here. One of them wants to make like $2.50 an hour for a data person. So don't think I can't hardly afford anybody and just write this off. There are people on here that are willing to work for $2 an hour. And if you can get something off your plate for $2 an hour, your coffee costs more than that you're buying every day. Take advantage of it and grow your business. Order your coffee without creamer for a week if it takes that till you get them up and running. If you're that new, I promise they will help you. They have ID proofing, which is great. Different levels. I actually go to the highest level, greater than 70. I want to make sure that these people are who they say they are. I don't worry about last active. That doesn't matter to me. They're all pretty active on here. There's an IQ score, believe it or not. Average 90 plus, high average 110 plus, very high average 120, extremely high 130. Depending on the role you're in, that might be important to you. I mean, if you're trying to hire a coder, you probably want somebody with some of the smartest intelligent, because my husband's IQ is probably stupid high, but at the same time, I can't have a conversation with him most of the time about this stuff because he talks so far over my head, I don't understand it, right? So I don't think any of us on here are rocket scientists. Bless you if you are, but you know, it's hard to, 2 rocket scientists can talk well to each other. If you never watched The Big Bang Theory, watch that show and watch how Penny struggles trying to have conversations with the guys. I mean, it's kind of like that. But ultimately, you can choose your IQ and then your English score. This is very important to me. I always pick advanced mastery. So that's the highest level of English you could do. Advanced would probably be enough if they're not going to work with clients at all, if you're just interacting with them. But for me, I never know because we rotate them depending on what they develop into, and I need their English very well. So advanced mastery is what I pick. And then from there, I just hit search. Now, if I'm just looking for somebody basic, if I got a specific thing in mind, and we're going to get into that in a minute, I'm going to also put what I'm looking for at the top. So am I looking for a website developer, and am I looking for a digital marketer? Am I looking for customer support? Things like that. We can put it up here and we can get people that those resumes fit into that. But just on that basic search, with eliminating some of the things we eliminated, there's over 60,000 people on here actively looking for a job. If you really need somebody and you're willing to look overseas for it and save some money, there's absolutely no reason why you can't find somebody on here to help you out. I promise. There are good people in here. So depending on what you're looking for, we got a virtual bookkeeper and accountant. He's got an ID proof of 90, which is super, super high, you guys. I don't think I've ever seen 100%. I think 92, something like that's the highest I've seen. So super high ID proof. He submitted basically all the documents that proves who he is and what he says he is. He has a bachelor's degree. He was active today. He wants a full-time work day, and he's willing to work at $4.55 an hour. And then you could, when you open them up, if you click on them, then you can see their whole profile, everything they're into: QuickBooks, Microsoft Excel, is that X0, something like that. And they'll talk about themselves, and then you can scroll down, and then they have a skills test through this, and then they can rank their skills test. So bookkeeping, payroll, tax preparation, top; accounting, a little less; and then financial analysis, strategic planning, investment research, they're lower on this guy. And then on the side here, it tells you like where they're actually living. It shows you their IQ level. So 110, he's pretty smart. And then it even shows their DISC. So if you're familiar with the DISC assessment and how that reads, so dominance is your D, so that's your driver, which you think of as your driver. They're a go-getter. They're usually a salesperson type role. Influencers, that's your I. That is, I'm an influencer, just for reference. I'm a high I. I'm a I on my DISC, I'm an influence, and then I'm a D, so I'm an IDS. That's how I rank. And then so influencers are your super friendly, they're super bubbly, they like to hang out with people. They're usually good salespeople as well. Steadiness, that is your, when I think of this S on the DISC, when I see a high S, a high steadiness, that is they're really good at customer service. They have high customer service. So they're a lot of times they're super empathetic. They can hold somebody's hand through something. They are real relatable that way. And then the C, compliance, which is really odd to me that he's that low on compliance, considering he is a bookkeeper guy. That to me, even though the other reads well, that makes me nervous. I would want my bookkeeper, my tax person high on compliance, right? That's right and wrong. That's, there's no gray area. And the fact that he's a 6, it tells me he sees a lot of gray. Now, if you're looking for a bookkeeper that maybe you need to hide some stuff, he might be the guy, because he'd probably be willing to do it. But to go by the law, that concerns me a little bit, just as a first glance. Now, I haven't talked to him. I don't know. Maybe he's a bad test taker or doesn't understand. But ultimately, that's this. And a C is also generally somebody that's super techie. So when I'm looking for a techie person, I really like to see a high C, and I like to see a high D. So, and the steadiness is good as well, because that means they can sit and talk to me. They're not going to be so far in left field that we can't have a conversation. But I don't necessarily need somebody that's a high influencer when I'm looking for a techie. If I'm looking for sales, customer service, I want somebody that's a higher I for that role. But for like an accountant or a tech person, that doesn't matter to me. And then you can see his English is advanced mastery. So he has the highest level of English on here. Now, some of these advanced mastery ones, they still sometimes have trouble kind of spitting it out. It's like talking to you. They're nervous. They stutter a lot until you get to know them. So some of that you just have to work through and decide if they're going to work or not. Again, what you look for to answer your phones and deal with your clients is completely different than what you're going to look for on the back end of your business. So when you are looking for people like this, think about the role they're going to do. What is your most needed role? Now, I know somebody mentioned on a call earlier today that they need help with social media. So at this point now, I'm going to I'm going to look for a social media person and see what we can find under social media. So this guy's a podcaster. He's also good. He has Go High Level in there, which is really interesting because if you're using our platform or some version of Go High platform, then you're using the backend support of Go High Level. So he might be able to even help you out with your data system, but he's a podcast guy. That's not really social media. I mean, it is, but maybe not what you're looking for. Eva, social media manager, trainer, does some SEO researching, training team leadership, $7 an hour. She's training. She's more on the executive side. That might be not what you're looking for either. You may not be far enough along for somebody that advanced. Let's see, social media strategist. Let's see, here's one for virtual assistant, 2 years experience in creation and social media management. Let's see what she says. So social media management, creative content creation, executive content strategy, basic video editing. She uses Canva, CapCut, and ChatGPT, which is basically your starter package to social media. If you are on Melissa's calls at all, I don't know if she's gotten into ChatGPT yet, but I know I have personally in the past, but I know for a fact she goes into Canva every day and trains on that. And then I know she's shown you guys CapCut, but right there, those three are probably what I would call your social media starter pack if you are going to get serious about content creation on Facebook, on Instagram, those kind of things. And she says she already knows those. The other thing, she focuses on lead generation, account support. She knows Microsoft Office 365. A lot of you are probably utilizing that. AI audiobook creator, email chat support, data entry. So not only could she not maybe help you with your social media, but if you also need maybe a VA, just somebody to help you with some things, she might be able to do that role. So if you don't need like a social media person full time, but you could really use some help with some data entry or some account support, looks like she could do both. And then down here, you can see her rankings, social media, audio tool, data entry, accounts payable, creative writing, social media, video editing, lead gen. And then over here, she has a website. We can click on her website. This is her portfolio. A lot of these people have portfolios. So what you can do is you can see some of their content that they've already done to see if you like what they're. And there's more about her there. Hello, I'm Chazelle, your go-to guru for all things digital marketing. My mission to sprinkle some magic on your social media presence and digital platforms, making sure you shine brighter than the rest. Ready to see the digital wonders I have conjured up? Get comfy because I've got a showcase of my best work just waiting for you. And hey, if you want the full scoop on what I can do, my portfolio is just a click away. Let's dive in and make some digital dreams come true. So she talks about herself. More about her skills. Oh, Google Sheet automation, that's nice. Basic video account services, tools she uses. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, CapCut, ChatGPT, Google Sheets, Pinterest, Canva, Microsoft Office tools, Pinterest, Teams, and so on. So she's got a good lineup of things she knows already. Here's some of her graphic designs that she's done for people. Some others. You can see some of her TikTok reels that she's created. So she's giving you a full, full-on thing of data of stuff she's already done. I mean, honestly, if she would be worth an interview to me if I was looking for that kind of person. And then her IQ score is 114, so she's above average. Her dominance is low, her influence is low, her steadiness and her compliance are really high. So what does that tell me? She's a people pleaser and she's techie and empathetic. Just as what that tells me without even meeting her. So, you know, she's going to be very adamant and making sure she cuts video and do content that has your approval. She's going to be looking for your approval. And then the compliance makes perfect sense is the platforms that she's using currently. So this is, she's 28, she wants $4 an hour. She would be somebody I would absolutely interview. I'm not saying I'd absolutely hire her from just this, but I would definitely interview her. She fits in what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a beginner social media person, she fits probably in my hourly that I can afford to pay her. $4 an hour, guys. Do you know, I mean, it's $700 a month. That's like $150 a week. You know, that's, you can't get any less expensive than that to get help doing something. For $704, it's worth to take a 30-day risk on somebody and just check them out. And then they also have their background check on here, so you can look at their background check. She scores a 70, so she's fully verified, email verified. Let's see, it talks about how she gets paid. She does not want to get paid through Easy Pay. Let's see. And then it even shows how many jobs she's applied for. And sometimes their jobs, you know, are gig jobs. So once they get like one post done, you know, maybe it's like one digital ad or something, then that's it. They're not getting hired full time. So when somebody actually comes in and gives them a real job, they're super happy with that. So that would be somebody for sure. I would definitely have an interview with that person and ultimately just see if once I'm talking to her, if we can communicate well together, does she understand or can she understand my needs, my vision, and that kind of things. And then a lot of times what I'll do if I like a candidate, I'll give them a test project. I'll give them like kind of a very basic overview of something I want and let them run with it to see what they can create me, especially when you're dealing with techie people. Going down, this guy does cold calling real estate. So if you're looking for a cold caller, let's see, this is social media content creator, client success, social media manager, general virtual assistant, client relations administrator. So she's doing some social media, but she's also a little more customer service focused. Virtual assistant, social media manager, graphic designer.
I personally like when they send the videos back to Rebecca.
Yeah. So that's part of in my job description. When I put a post, one of the instructions they had to send me a 60-second video telling me about themselves, kind of thing. Let's see, support manager. I have been in computer support for 8 years now. Well, this one might be interesting for some of you, especially if you struggle with a computer. See, she's ID proofed of 85. Let's see she wants $5 an hour. She's 31. She's mastery in English. She did not do the DIS part, and she does not have a website here, but let's see what she says. I have been in customer support for 8 years now, and I know I can do various tasks, including answers, emails, chats, and phones, scheduling meetings, assisting customers. Being in a call center job helped me enhance myself in multitasking. So I like that she was in a call center because call centers are fast-paced. Skills, dedicated and patient in dealing with unexpected situations, well experienced in e-commerce support, able to handle emergencies. Let's see, manage social media accounts generally. So except Microsoft, PowerPoint. So even though she actually front end said she was really a content manager, that does not tell me she is. She's more of just a customer service support role, and you can see how her skill set shows that as well. So I would not personally be looking at this person. I'm not saying she can't do social media. I'm not saying she couldn't learn Canva. She couldn't do the things, but at my initial glance, if I was looking at hiring her, I'd be looking at hiring her for more of a customer service role. Let's see. Content design and data entry. Social media growth strategist. So she probably creates, but she's maybe a little better on how to place content. HR generalist, a roof sketcher, executive assistant, relations. Let's see. Let's go one deeper. Let's go the content creator. Let's ask it that. See if we get anything different. Here we go. $2.05 an hour. Out of curiosity, let's see what she can do for $2 an hour. She's 33 years old. She has an average IQ. She did the disc. She's actually pretty square. So she's pretty level-headed. Mastery of English. Hey there, I'm Abby, and I've got an interesting mix of experience in social media management and personal assistance. A few years back, I had the opportunity to work as a social media manager and content creator for a Christian. It was an incredible journey that allowed me to deep dive into the world of digital marketing and content creation. I loved engaging with the online community and playing part of the website's success. Nowadays, you'll find me in a different role as a personal assistant to a medical doctor. I kind of like that because that means she probably understands some of our lingo, right? I'm here to provide top-notch support, lending a hand with all sorts of tasks related to the doctor's work, from managing schedules and appointments to keeping things organized behind the scenes. My mission is to ensure everything runs smoothly. By taking care of the little things, I help the doctor focus on what they need to do best. Delivering exceptional care to patients. Having experience in both social media management and personal assistance has shaped me into someone with a strong work ethic and excellent organizational skills. I'm a pro at juggling multiple responsibilities and getting things done efficiently. I'm truly passionate about putting my skills and knowledge to work, no matter the professional setting. I am thrilled to connect with like-minded individuals to team up on meaningful projects. I'm also personal and professional growth, so let's explore how we can impact together. And then let's see, Instagram marketing 4, appointment setting 4, data entry 4, blog, creative writing, technical, Facebook at 3. Actually right here, English speaking, customer support's only a 3. So these assessments are actually very helpful. She seems nice though. For $2 an hour, you know, depending on what you're looking for, she's probably worth a conversation. I mean, if she can do one thing, take one thing off your plate and do it well, one thing, guys, she's worth it. $2 an hour. That is on an 8-hour day. That's $16 a day. If she can do one thing for you. Does anybody, besides, I know social media was a request, but does anybody have something that you want me to search for specifically? You got an idea for somebody?
Rebecca, someone like social media is the one that when you came back from when last year, I have this and I've been looking at it, and I was going to explore it more this coming up year. But what about someone that can go in and like create spreadsheets for you, like clean up? Like if I have 5 spreadsheets, they can go in and combine them and clean them up and that kind of thing.
That was probably be more of like a data analysis person. And now, if I can spell analysis, I know that's not right. Maybe the computer fix it. There we go.
So Rebecca, real quick, one of the things that I'd really like some help on would be understanding how to use some of these people, right? So like, I don't want to give them access to my QuickBooks, probably, that has all of my banking information, everything else, right? but there's got to be a way to get them to do my my account entry and whatnot, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, as far as something like that specifically, Mark, I would probably, maybe we could get Orlando on a call with you because we're interviewing people for him right now, and his thoughts, like, because there may be things about QuickBooks you might be able to export, organize, and then import it back in. I'm not sure. But to some degree, depending on what you're using them for, at some point, you're probably going to have to be okay with giving them things. I mean,
Well,
at the
yeah,
end of the day, too, after I've worked with somebody for a little while, I either going to trust them or I don't. And it's no different than hiring somebody in the States. I mean, I've had people work for me in my office, literally sitting next to me, stealing from me right then and there in front of me. I mean, if somebody's going to do it, they're going to do it. Now, do I give them that kind of access in the beginning? No, I didn't even give Orlando that kind of access in the beginning. We developed a rapport, a relationship first before, and over time he got more and more access to things. But there's still so much they can do. How about maybe they're not in your QuickBooks, but what if they did a commission reconciliation and they can tell you every person that you got paid on and who you didn't get paid on? That would be helpful, I'm sure. And then they could go back and cross-reference, well, why didn't you get paid on these people? Are they still on your books? And they can cross-reference that. Are they still on your books? Did the client fall off? Did the client pass away? Did the client get stolen by another agent? And they give you that audit report. Like, Mark, you've had, 30 sales this month. 22 of them paid, 8 did not. Of those 8, 4 of them were stolen. 2 never made their payment. And the other 2, we don't know why. We got to go back and find out why they didn't pay. I mean, just in the accounting side, there is so much on the back end of accounting you can do that doesn't give them access to your accounts. But ultimately, if you're talking QuickBooks specifically, I mean, Orlando's in my QuickBooks all day long, every day. He could probably answer that specific question a little better.
Yeah, and it's that kind of strategy, like what you were bringing up a minute, just there a couple seconds ago. Different jobs that they can do, right? That maybe I haven't thought about yet. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but like
What about like Rebecca? You're like I wouldn't give them access to like my banking stuff or anything right away, but I'm sure there's some features you can give them access to, but they can't view certain areas in your account.
I absolutely believe there is, Regina. And like I said, Orlando, like if you hired somebody for that specific person or was looking for somebody, you could jump on a 10-minute call with Orlando and he could show you how to do it, right?
What
Because
about like
almost all of our accounts are that way these days, even our, Jarvis and stuff, we can give people access to some things and not to others.
and what about like someone who can like check your email, like go in and get the junk out that's not good and like prioritize and like are they able to remote into that? Like I don't have any secrets in my email. Um
Oh yeah,
can
you
they
can just give them your login and they can get into your email.
because there's a lot of
that's something
little
I
like
actually know a little bit about, right? So you can get a password manager that you can set up a user account for where they don't actually get your username and password. They log into the password manager and then that's what gives them access to whatever accounts you want to give them access to. That's a much better way to do it than giving them a username and password.
All right, this girl had something interesting. Check my CV here. So, Regina, this one says data analysis report. She wants $6.25 an hour, advanced English, and then human resources payroll high, Excel high, data entry high, English speaking, email management. There you go, accounting. So somebody like this might be right up. And she's got a drive link here that's going to show us something. Hopefully I don't lose you by switching screens.
because I hate reports. I
But
can't I
Well, I can't see it
Express,
because I have to, but the fact that she has this tells me
Yeah.
she's got examples of her work, which is always good. Like when you're first trying to look at somebody, I mean, she's got I mean, what you just asked for, she has a lot of that just in her resume. So this might be somebody you might be interested in talking to. She's got a high ID proof too, an 85 on her ID proof. That's pretty high.
that's
But
pretty good. And the website, is it still the same way like before when you said that like you have to pay the membership, but then if you found someone, you can just discontinue it and then go back and get back on it if you needed like another one or
you
that didn't
can.
work
I've
out?
left mine on the whole time because I'm in and out of here looking for people a lot,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, you can come and go as you please. It's not expensive though. I mean, you may have all of what you need until you get out of here, but there's a lot of people on here. I mean, you just got to go through them and just kind of see what resonates with you. This girl lady, she's got 10 years support, attention to detail. She's got some history behind her. A lot of these people are younger. So when you see somebody with a lot of history, that's interesting too. So this is a driver. She's a high D. She'll be able to work on her own. She's a go-getter. She has a LinkedIn page. Let's see what her LinkedIn page says. She's 54 years old. So this took us to her actual resume. So an individual contractor. She's done this for over 2 years. She was a business owner before that. A recruitment officer, interesting. IT administrator. I mean, she's definitely got some experience behind her.
Yellow rice? I don't think so.
So the other thing I wanted to
Go to Safeway and get some stuff.
show you guys too is so we're pretty laid back with these individuals. We play through whys. It's generally we write them off just like we write off marketing, but we did create a kind of just a one pager. I think it's 2 pages, but just a form and a couple of line item documents for them to sign. We don't file taxes on them, so it's really just to kind of say we did it. So they fill it out. But this is our overall, it's a very simple employee agreement. And so it's just a VA employee agreement. This agreement is made between us and the company and then them, the contractor. So we refer to them as a contractor, right? They're not an employee. Simple confidential and non-disclosure agreement that they sign off on. Obligation and confidentially agreement. Unauthorized use, prohibit, I can't say that word. Non-disclosure agreements. Contractors must sign a non-disclosure agreement to maintain confidentiality and use such information only in the course of employment. Violations of this policy may result in disciplinary action, including termination. Now, I want you to be really clear. They're in Philippines. There's not much I can do about it. This is really just save face to say we did it and keep the honest. If you find a crook, you find a crook, and you're going to find a crook in the US just as easily as you're going to find one in the Philippines. I promise. So this is really just to keep the honest. You're not going to go back and be able to sue these people. So, tread lightly on that part and just know that. but ultimately this gives them some kind of, guidelines here, what we expect. We also make them, HIPAA. We have them, depending on what they're doing, we may have them take HIPAA. Some of my girls that I've already hired, they already had the HIPAA training because they had worked for carriers in the past. So they'd already been through HIPAA and PHI, which I thought was really great. So they knew what that was. And then we offer what we offer. So PTO and holiday paid. And then this is our PTO schedule that we do offer them. This is their holiday schedule we do. They have different holidays than us. So I can be a little bit flexible with them. If they, if there's some holiday that comes up that I don't know about, that's just really important to them. Generally, because I'll let them have it because I don't give them all the other US bogus holidays that we have, so to speak. So I'll give them theirs if they ask if they're a good worker. And so far we've had nothing but good people. But we hire them. We do the full interview processes like we're doing with any other employee. And then, but they have to get approval on the schedule. Their workday consists of 8 hours with an unpaid lunch break. General terms of employment. And then they just sign it and we sign it. It's pretty nonchalant, really, at the end of the day. Again, it's more about keeping the honest and then giving some guidelines, about like days off and things like that. Any questions on this? Anybody already scheduled an interview with somebody? Because I see some of you got it pulled up. And ultimately, if you're serious about looking for somebody just off the cuff here, because I am interviewing right now several people, and I may, if you are looking for somebody, and if maybe somebody I run into that's not what I'm looking for, but maybe you're wanting them for something different where I think they might be a good fit for that. If you send me an email and just kind of what you would love to find, if I run into somebody while I'm interviewing all the ones I'm interviewing right now, I might send them your way to you can have a conversation with them if you think that would be helpful. Because what I'm interviewing for right now is very, very specific. And so I may find somebody that doesn't have quite all the line items marked, but I still feel like they might be a really good employee, but I just don't need them right now. And I could send them to somebody's way. Yeah, I can send it. No problem. Let's see. Can I put it in here? File. Your computer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I hired 3 of them from there and they're all working out wonderful. And then I hired Darrell for Go High Level. So I was messaging Melissa. I'm like, wait a minute, what's his last name? Because you never know, like, if they're going to be, you know what I mean? Like you were talking about honesty. So, but it's different.
No, my Gerald would have told me because my Gerald did pick up another second job over the summer. His wife was expecting and he needed some extra money.
So is mine. My wife, Marjorie, is his wife.
I don't know his wife's name. But ultimately, he asked and I inquired about what it
I
was.
wonder
And
if
it wasn't for insurance at all. It was something totally different. And I said, well, as long as it's not insurance related or what we do, I don't care. And if it doesn't interfere with your job.
Yeah,
But
mine.
he doesn't have the second job anymore though. He's working, like I said, he's working for us right now about 14 hours a day.
Okay.
He couldn't even fit another one in if he wanted to.
Awesome.
Let's see, where do I have this file? Oh, here we go. It's here. Come on, open. It's thinking. I'm trying to put the file in the, there it goes, in the chat for you. There. Just grab it out of chat once it pops up for you. Shit. I'm losing connection. Oh, that was weird. I totally froze up. Okay, it's in the chat now. Just grab it out of there. Well, awesome, you guys. Any other questions on this? Any other questions in general?
Yes, real quick. So when actually on this, I was thinking we have a lot of our recorded phone calls. We use Nerd Phone. And so having those captured and pulled and put in our CRM this would be a useful thing for it. But where do you store your recorded calls?
So we download them and we have them on our S drive. So I have hard files on the S drive. And then if it was at this point, if it was a call that kind of went awry, we will also get a copy of the call and we'll put it in their CRM just so we have it on quick. Now, once we have Ring Central integrated, because we use Ring Central when integrated into our CRM, and we are working on that right now. Once we have that done, then all calls will be automatically saved to their file. And then I
Okay.
only have to download just for a backup onto my S drive. So every client's call will just automatically be saved in there. But for right now, we just download all of them. I download them once a month and I put them in there by month, and then into the S drive for saving. And then but when there's a team member that has like a weird call or something, they feel like they will instantly go pull that call right then and then just upload it right then in their file too.
Makes sense.
But hopefully the automation will be in place sooner than later, and then that'll just automatically be done and they'll be nice.
Super nice. Thank you.
But as far as a VA, I mean, if you're doing that right now and it's time consuming, yeah, I mean, it's worth $2 an hour to pay somebody to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, if there is nothing else today, thank y'all. Hope this was helpful. And I'm curious to know if anybody hires anybody. Keep me posted.
Will do. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a
And
great rest of your day.
Rebecca, will you call me real quick?
Sure.
Thank you.